Hi, Hawthorne and Rowan class. Miss Forster and I this week have picked the book for you, Jack and the Beanstalk. If you look on Tapestry, you will see a link to take you to a version of the story that I've read for you. And this version, it's got no pictures. I want you to listen to the story and you can imagine what the characters look like in your head. And the next challenge we've given you is to draw a story mountain. So you get yourself a piece of paper and get an adult to draw a mountain for you. And then write the word beginning and the word end. And this is the beginning of the story. And this is the end. And what happens is that you draw some pictures of what happens in the story. And as you go over the mountain, let's pretend you're walking up the mountain. You're hearing the story. You're telling the story. When you get to the top of the mountain, that's what's happening halfway through the story. Oh no. And then when you get to the end, it's the end of your story. So this is my story mountain. I've tried my very best to draw some pictures. I didn't give up. I've written the title at the top, Jack and the Beanstalk. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you the story using my story map. Okay, lots of stories start once upon a time. I think I'm going to start one day. One day, Jack and his mum were looking at their prize cow, and their prize cow was called Daisy. They were very proud of Daisy because Daisy gave them the best milk. One day, Jack and his mum discovered that they weren't very happy because they'd run out of money. And they thought, well, Jack's mum thought that the only thing they could do was to sell Daisy. So Jack was walking to sell Daisy and bumped into this mysterious fellow, this man who said, I will give you some magic beans if you give me Daisy. Jack thought, yay! Jack went home and told his mum. His mum threw the magic beans out the window onto the ground. Oh no, the next morning Jack saw a huge, gigantic beanstalk. Here's an arrow. He decided to climb up the beanstalk. When he got to the beanstalk, he saw a giant. Oh no, and the giant said, I better write this in, can't forget this. The giant said, fee, fi, fo, fum. Big exclamation point. Fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the blood of an Englishman. And the giant had a very magical musical harp and a hen that laid golden eggs. The giant fell asleep and Jack decided to take the harp and the hen and run. Oh no, the harp started to make some sounds and the giant came after Jack. Luckily, Jack was going down the beanstalk. His mum was there with an axe. Chop, chop. His mum chopped the beanstalk and it fell down. And they all lived happily ever after at the end. And that's my story of Jack and the Beanstalk using the story mountain. Can you draw a story mountain? Can you tell the people in your house your story of Jack and the Beanstalk? Maybe get an adult to video you and put it on Tapestry so we can all see your story together. That's your big challenge. Can you draw a story map for Jack and the Beanstalk? Give it a go.